Yo, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite cash game plays for this Week 11 NFL Draftkings main slate. Like I always do here in these videos, I'm going to go position by position, breaking down each one of my favorite plays, and then we'll wrap up the video talking some honorable mentions. With that being said, let's dive right into this. And we're going to kick things off here at the quarterback position. Now, I am going to highlight a more expensive play here at the end of this video once we get into the honorable mentions, but my favorite two plays here in the low 6K range, or upper 5K range, first being Kyler Murray of the Arizona Cardinals, priced at $6,100 this weekend in a matchup on the road against the Texans, where we would need 18.3 DraftKings points for him to hit 3x value. And yeah, he just came back from that knee surgery, first game back last week, but he looked pretty damn good, throwing for 249 passing yards, but what I really liked is him having 6 rushing attempts for 33 yards and a score there, racking up 18.3 DraftKings points. It's exactly what we need for 3x value this week, and since week 5, this Texans defense has really struggled against quarterbacks, allowing the second most yards per attempt and the 4th best passer rating. And then the other cash game quarterback that I like this week is Brock Purdy, priced at $5,800 in a matchup at home this week against the Buccaneers. Honestly, was surprised to see him priced here again at $5,800. He could easily be in the mid 6K range. We need 17.4 DraftKings points for him to hit 3x value at this price, and I was a little thrown off by these numbers here, but he currently ranks first in yards per attempt, fantasy points per dropback, and passer rating amongst all quarterbacks in the NFL this year. And since week 6, this Buccaneers defense has really struggled against the pass as well, allowing the highest passer rating and the second highest yards per attempt. Now, moving over here to the running back position, and if I'm looking to spend up here this week, I have no problem going back to Christian McCaffrey. You're going to see him highlighted as an honorable mention at the end of this video, but I do prefer Austin Eckler just a little bit more. For one, he's slightly cheaper here at $8,600, and I do like the matchup against the Green Bay Packers better. At that price, we need 25.8 DraftKings points for Eckler to hit 3x value, and ever since he returned from the IR, the volume has not been an issue. He's had some really tough matchups, but he's averaging 19 touches per game and 83.2 total yards per game, and we know the upside we get out of a guy like this, especially in the passing game. And again, this Packers defense has struggled against running backs this year, ranking 22nd overall in defensive rush DVOA. Now, after Eckler there, and again, Christian McCaffrey, who I'll talk about at the end of this video, I like heading down here to the 5K range. For starters, we're going to go with Devin Singletary here at $5,300. Matchup here at home against the Arizona Cardinals, where we would need 15.9 DraftKings points for him to hit 3x value. Now, Dameon Pierce is expected to be out once again this Sunday, and with Pierce out last week, Singletary saw massive volume, 31 touches, 161 total yards, and ended up finding the end zone. Now, we can't bank on 31 touches again, but 20 plus, I absolutely think that's in the realm of possibilities this week, especially considering this matchup at home against the Cardinals, and per FTN, he is offering the best value at the running back position this weekend. If I had to guess, that's probably the case for most sites that offer fantasy projections. And then another running back that I like here in the 5K range this weekend is Jerome Ford of the Cleveland Browns, priced at $5,200 in a matchup at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers, where we would need 15.6 DraftKings points for him to hit 3x value. Now, from what I understand, it sounds like he's been pretty much back to full health here since week 9. Over the last 2 weeks, he's averaging 21.5 touches and 93 total yards per game. Definitely like the volume there, especially considering the price. And the Steelers defense has been, let's say, mediocre against the run this year, ranking 17th overall in defensive rush DVOA, but where they've really struggled this year is against gap runs, allowing the 5th highest yards per carry to that type of style, and it just so happens that 53.2% of Ford's carries this year are in fact gap runs. Now, folks, before we dive into the wide receiver plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. We're trying to get Slydog Sports here to 4,000 subs by year end, which is probably a lofty goal, but if you haven't subbed yet and you can help us out there, again, I would really appreciate that. Now, dipping into the wide receivers here, and I'd have no problem spending up for Tyreek Hill this week, priced at $9,300 in a matchup at home against the Raiders, where we would need 27.9 DraftKings points for him to hit 3x value. Look, volume is never an issue with Tyreek Hill. This guy's got a 30% target share, 44% air yard share, and a 36% first read share. Plus, he has an average of 4.20 yards per route run. That number is absolutely ridiculous, and he's just been so much better at home compared to on the road. I mean, he's been great on the road too, but he's averaging 32.1 DraftKings points per game when at home this year. And then until this guy's price changes, I'm going to go back to Christian Kirk once again in my cash lineup this week of the Jacksonville Jaguars, priced at $6,000 once again in a good matchup at home against the Tennessee Titans. At that price, we need 18 DraftKings points for him to hit 3x value, and this guy's numbers just continue to go up. 22% target share, 29% air yard share, and a 25% first read share. Every single one of those numbers are better than last week, and I played him in my cash lineup last week. And again, this is a good matchup at home here against this Titans defense, who ranked 27th overall in defensive pass DVOA, and they're allowing 53.1 DraftKings points per game to wide receivers. That's the 5th most in the NFL. And then the last wide receiver I want to highlight here is Tank Dell of the Houston Texans, priced at $5,900 in a matchup at home against the Cardinals, where we would need 17.7 DraftKings points for him to hit 3x value. And in 6 full games this year, the numbers have been great for Tank Dell, especially considering he is a rookie, a 23% target share, 35% air yard share, and a 28% first read share. And this matchup, I don't know if it could be better for him. He currently ranks 7th overall of 135 qualified wide receivers versus cover 4 defense this year, and it just so happens that this Cardinals defense runs cover 4 at more than 2x the league average. Now, when it comes to a tight end this week, I have my eyes on one guy, and that's not really true. I got 2 honorable mentions for you at the end of this video, but if I can get to Trey McBride here at $4,400, by all means I want to do that. Again, playing on the road here against the Texans, where we would need 13.2 DraftKings points for him to hit 3x value. Now, since week 8, this guy's seen a 32% target share, 35% air yard share, and a 38% first read share. Love those numbers, especially considering the price. And this Texans defense has really struggled against tight ends this year, allowing the 2nd most DraftKings points per game to tight ends, and they've allowed the 5th most receiving yards to the position. And then to wrap up the positional plays here, we got some defenses, and I'm going to highlight a few more than I typically do. Don't want to spend too much time on this. We all know how defenses go, but honestly, I don't mind spending up here at $3,200 for the Miami Dolphins. Played an Aiden O'Connell here at home, rookie quarterback, and we all know that teams really struggle playing in Miami. You got the sideline where the sun is just bearing down on them. So if I can afford the Dolphins, I do want to get there. Otherwise, if I'm looking to spend down here and need to save some money at this position, it's going to be the Jets here against the Buffalo Bills. I've kind of seen how the Bills have played here as of late. New offensive coordinator heading into this week, and we know that there's some talent on that back end for the Jets as well. Priced at $2,600, I have no problem with them. And then if I need to save even more money than that, it's going to be the Green Bay Packers here at home against the Los Angeles Chargers, and I would really like that matchup here if Keenan Allen ends up missing for the Chargers this week. And as promised, I got some honorable mentions here to wrap up this video, and I actually have 8 here this week, so let's dive right into it. If you want to spend up at the quarterback position this week, I like Tua considering how big of a favorite Miami is at home against the Raiders, but again, I really do prefer to go to Kyler Murray or Brock Purdy and get the price savings there. On the running back side of things, mentioned it earlier, we can definitely go back to Christian McCaffrey or Brian Robinson Jr. of the Washington Commanders. It sounds like Antonio Gibson's going to be doubtful here this week, and it is a good matchup against the Giants. On the wide receiver side of things, I wouldn't blame you going back to CeeDee Lamb. He has been a volume monster ever since they came off of the bye. If you want to save some money at the wide receiver position, I got 2 guys there for you, and Jaden Reed of the Green Bay Packers or Kyle Phillips of the Tennessee Titans, and he's the bare minimum price there at $3,000. Only need 9 DraftKings points for him to hit 3x value. And then again, on the tight end side of things, I really want to get to Trey McBride if possible, but I don't mind Evan Ingram either, and if I'm really looking to save some money, I like Tyler Conklin of the New York Jets. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great weekend here, folks. Let's win some money on this Week 11 main slate. And in the meantime, I'm out of here.